Welcome back. Where you been? I've been quite busy around here, but I'm finally going to get beyond this next hurdle into the assembly phase of the Mity Kat Hercules ZXB3. All of what I'm doing in here is nearly done. We've got the cylinders in good shape. We've got the valve seats and the ports in good shape. We've got new valves lapped in. So now it's time to clean the block. And I'm gonna set up the time lapse here and we'll just, we'll get to it. Here we go. Check out the oil supply system for the Mity Kat right now. Here's the bucket of dirt that came out of the Mity Kat, and it's got some life to it. So we're gonna put it in that bucket and see what grows.
See the gouge in this one? Right there?
Yeah, that's my favorite part. See, if you look like that, it's not.
It's not there. It goes away.
Yeah.
Ooh, look. Shattering.
Did you loosen or what happened there?
What's it loosened? Oh, it's.
You don't have full contact. So we're just cleaning these cylinders. We're satisfied with the hone job and trying to clean any kind of stuff that shouldn't be there out.
Dabbery.
Yeah.
Oil was good, Joel. Look at it. It's hardly black. Severely black. It does take fingers.
the scene. Now I can put the ram and pull it through. Hear it?
It came back out. It's got a bit of a burr right here, right there.
Yeah.
I'll machine it off.
Alright, Mity Kat fans, it's been long enough. Time that I tell you what's going on here. So I've got the engine on the bench here, and I'm working on shimming all the bearings. And I gotta come clean with the audience here. This engine's not gonna be the greatest. I know it's hard to believe, but we started with an engine that was a desperate basket case, and you know, it's hard to ignore the fact that who knows how long it will run. It will run good, and I'm sure it's going to sound fine for quite a while, but this crankshaft is junk. I mean, look at those. Those are from water sitting in the journal. So I'm just going to do my best to make sure that there's nothing too rough, and I'm going to put it together. You know, this is what we're working with here. That's cylinder 2. There's a ring. So this is what's been taking so long, is I had to wait for these parts to come unglued. Now I got to get all that stuff out of there, and this is all iron oxide on the aluminum. Bearings, they got to get cleaned up, sanded, and then cut up pieces of soda can. These are the original shims. So the soda can works out to be about 4 thousandths, and the original is 11. So that gives it just enough. I mean, turns smooth, feels good, no real play. That one's hitting the block. But they're pretty nice. It's going to be a loose engine, I'll tell you that much. Cylinders, they're as good as I can get them. So, here's where it gets interesting. Here is another Hercules ZXB3. This one was fitted to a generator, and I went out and I got this, and it was kind of a miracle to come across it on the old marketplace, but you never know what's there. And this engine runs as is. Runs very good. Here's the engine that I got this winter around Christmas or something, and I kind of looked at it a little bit. 3 cylinders have compression. The rear cylinder has some kind of problem with the exhaust, whether it's not seating or sealing or burnt or whatever. So there's 2 spare engines for the Mity Kat bulldozer. So to me, putting together this engine is completing the quest on YouTube, because the quest is, can I make this run? And absolutely. But full disclosure, this engine is going to fail at some point, but if I can use the machine for 100 hours. That's way better than shoveling, you know. So here we go. I'm going to keep going on this, and I think we're going to take up the video at the assembly part. There. Now that one looks like the others. I'm going to install it now. That's as good as the bearings are going to get. You can see how Babbitt bearings work, or their intent is to capture the trash and take some marring and just hold it in there. So I'm just cleaning them up, getting them straight. This is the actual intended use for this tool. This is a bearing scraper. You just use it like a paring knife, very carefully. Well, that's 4. Oops, I forgot to put the pistons in the cylinders. Jeez. I'm just cleaning all these parts. Look at the condition of this oil breather. Just caked. I don't know how they didn't notice that giant oil leak. So, giving them kind of a once over tidy, and then getting paint on them. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's a bulldozer, you know. There's no sense in making it perfect. All right, check this out. There it is. Same old Mity Kat engine wearing a new dress. That's about as close as I could get to what I was finding for paint on it. Here we got the fan, generator, starter, water pump, lifter cover, dipstick, water fitting to the block, oil filter housing, distributor, starter, spacer, oil fill, crank pulley, breather cap. There's the oil pan. Here's the timing cover. So that's enough paint on it to put the rotating assembly together, get the pistons in, and that's what I'm going to do now. Well, I got all the rings on the pistons, so now I'm going to take the rods off the crankshaft and get them all in the block at the top of the bores, put the crank in, connect them. Yeah. Noisy neighbor. Well, that's cylinder one.
Optimum ride height.
Yeah. Look, cylinder one's just long for the ride.
Oh. Your fitment's a little off.
No, the block's too big. The piston ring gap on cylinder one is like all of it.
This one's not the best either. It'll work. It'll just smoke a little bit.
Well, it's got 4 cylinders to pick from.
Yeah. It's gonna have 3.5, so it's gonna be a Hercules. It's gonna be a Hercule instead of a Hercules. It's just gonna be a Hercule.
Yeah. All right. Welcome to Bench Cam. And looks like I definitely painted myself. Oops. Wow. That's an issue. So I've got the pistons in the bore, all 4. Initial thoughts, kind of tight. These three anyway. But they're smooth. This one definitely loose. But we're gonna move onward because I want to put this engine together. I mean, it can only be so fixed. The whole mission at hand was to clean as good as it could be cleaned, get rid of all the rust, and put it together. So that's what we're doing. All right, that's torqued down and feels real good. Oh, and if anybody's wondering, the Mity Kat tree is doing great. Looks like a poplar. Not sure what that is, but we're gonna let it grow. I just got all the lifters in, and it's kind of interesting how this engine goes together. The lifters go in, then you have to put the adjuster, thread the adjuster in. See, it can't fit through. That's quite difficult down on the ends here where fingers can't even really fit. So now I'm going to start doing this process. In with the camshaft first.
Oops.
Now I just gotta identify the timing marks. It's a dot right there. It's a dot right there. Alright, I'm sort of getting the hang of this. Oh, everything is so grimy and gross. So I gotta clean all these random pieces as I go together, and it's just, it's a challenge. Using this little tiny file. Taking the rust off all the machine surfaces. There. Now it's halfway decent. Let's proceed. So, as I was saying, I'm gonna bring the valve down. Make sure the lifter stays up. Kind of squeeze that down in there. And go like that. And get our little pin. The little pin goes in there. Get those in the pliers, ready to go. Reset our tool. Hold the valve. Open it up. Get our glove stuck in the tool. Angle the pin just right. Get our pliers out. And that's not in all the way. There it is. So I just got to do that 5 more times. That was a pretty easy fix. Just changed it to a different size nut, different thickness. Plenty of clearance now. Good enough. Well, there was one missing pin for the valve spring retainer, so unfortunately this engine had to give one up for a little while. You'll have your turn. I'll also mention take an Allen wrench, stick it in the plug hole, rotate it over the valve, and then pick up on it, and you can get the valve stem to go down, the keeper to go up. Nice little trick. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and let's try and be positive about this. I'm completing the mission here, and this engine's going to run, and the Mity Kat little bulldozer is going to work again. How long? I don't really know, but it's at least saving an article from history that was discarded, and it's going to start living its new life. So I appreciate those who have kept up with the project and watched along, and I apologize for the lag in this last video, but you know, business, life, things get in the way. You gotta do what you gotta do to do what you wanna do. So I'll see you on the next episode, and fingers crossed, this engine will be running in the next video. And I've got some big surprises for the actual machine itself. It's going to start receiving some work, because once I have a running engine, the engine can go back in the machine and we can address some, you know, issues. See you there.